Mustang is out and warming up a little bit because it hasn't been driven in a little bit, and so we're letting her idle. I can't get over how good this thing looks on this new GoPro. I mean, this color looks so good in person, but it's finally kind of coming through on camera. What's going on, guys? Hopefully you did enjoy that little intro. But out here with the Mustang, as you can see, and this is going to be a 2-year ownership, so I can't believe it's already been 2 years, but it has. So 2 years, about 16,000 miles. I just want to go over how the car's been, what it's like, and how I feel about it still. So I'm going to jump the camera around and kind of go over the couple of the mods, or I guess go over all the mods. Then we're going to hop in the car, go for a drive, and really talk about how the past 2 years of owning this car has been. Hopefully this video doesn't get too long, but it's possible it might, just because of the different aspects of talking about it, showing it, all that kind of stuff. So bear with me. Hopefully I'll answer all your questions that you're here for. 2017 Mustang GT 5.0 6-speed manual base model. So I don't know if you're aware or not, but the only year of the S550 with Grabber Blue was 2017. So definitely makes it a little bit more unique, maybe a little bit more desirable. I'm not sure. I personally love Grabber Blue and think it is definitely one of, if not the best color on these cars, and even the S197s. But it's kind of one of those iffy colors. You either love it or you hate it, but personally I absolutely love it. I would say the key 3 things that you got to do to your Mustang is going to be a front lip, which is absolutely huge on these S550s. You have to do one on the front of these cars because they come with a tiny little baby one, and it just looks awkward. But you go ahead and you put one of these on and it just looks great. This is a Cervini front splitter. It has been great. It's been upwards of 140 miles an hour, absolutely no issues. It's just screwed into the bottom like they kind of tell you in the instructions. The instructions are not very good, but I've had no issues with it coming apart. I've hit 2 rabbits. It's a tiny bit scuffed up right here. I don't know if you'll be able to see. You probably will. Tiny bit scuffed right here because I've hit 2 rabbits in this exact spot, and they've got shoved in here and got stuck, and I've had to get out and pull them out. So a little bit of scuffed right here, but other than that, it's been absolutely great. I had no issues with it. You got to lower these cars. You absolutely have to. Even if you have the stock wheels, they definitely look so much better lowered. So mine is on Eibach Sportline springs on the factory struts, which I'll talk about that in a little bit, whether or not that's a good idea or not. But yeah, I mean, it looks absolutely great. Gives it such a better look. Also, good wheels and tires. It's definitely a good upgrade. These are the SVE GT350 rep wheels. Yes, I know, rep wheels, blah blah blah. I don't want to spend 10 grand on some genuine ones, whatever. Nitto NT555 G2s, 285/35/19 in the front, 305/35/19 in the back. Couldn't say enough good things about the Gen 2 Nittos. Gen 1's kind of trash. These, I've absolutely loved them, and they've done very good for me. So, coming back here, obviously painted caliber. My roof is wrapped black, which gives it a very nice touch. Breaks up the blue a little bit, and I think that's just an absolute killer look. Painted the back caliber black because I just didn't like it blue. It doesn't have a great looking back caliber. So we've got the S197 style rear splitter things. I think they're Roush, I can't remember, but I custom cut them to fit on here, and I actually think they look really good because on these base model S550s you don't get a real cool back thing. So I put that on there. It definitely gives it a much more low appearance, and then I plasticked up the bottom portion of the bumper because it is a one piece. You can't just put a cool splitter on there. Tinted the tail lights, plastic dip on the GT badge and the 5.0 badge up here. We got a GT350 track pack spoiler on here. Gives it a nice little touch. The little baby ones on there that come on the factory just quite aren't enough, and this one's a good mix between not too crazy, but just enough to where you can really see it. Obviously we've got some extraordinarily horribly ugly brown Corsa Extreme catback on here, but the tips are in desperate need of cleaning, polishing, and I need to do that because that looks really bad. But Corsa Extreme, couldn't say enough good things about them. It's just absolutely insane how loud this car is, and it has 0 drone. If you like the raspy, ungodly loud, just America that these things produce, spend the money on them. They're worth every penny of it. Not to have a buttload of drone, actually 0 drone. A lot of exhaust will have drone, and it just makes the whole driving experience kind of suck. So that's pretty much it on the outside, I do believe, unless I'm missing something, but pretty basic. Just a couple mods that absolutely change the entire look of the car. But let me go ahead and pop the hood and let's look under there. So we got the beautiful 5-liter. Ford definitely knows how to make a good looking engine. So as far as under the hood modifications, we basically just have a PMOS cold air intake, which is like was the intake to get when the S550s came out and stuff. It was extremely hot. It does very good. I've had no issues out of it. It's done great as far as I'm concerned. My car runs very strong. It's purple, obviously. I don't know how it'll come over on camera. I use the K&N cleaner kit on it because it's like 50 bucks either way you go, 50 or 100, I can't remember. I think it's 50 for a new filter from PMOS or to go with their cleaner kit, whereas the K&N's like $12. I've had no issues out of it. Obviously, just don't over oil it when you do this. Basically, the only other thing is the Lund tuning. So it is Lund tuned with a N-gauge in the center air vent, which I'll show y'all real quick. Lund Racing. So just in the center right there, it's very easy to see. You can monitor everything. Genuine GT350 shift knob up top. And then we've got the full Barton Hybrid 3 shift assembly down below, and it absolutely is worth the money. It saves you a ton of slack and anger with the original. As far as I'm concerned, very tastefully done car, and it's got the mods where you need the mods, and basically, I mean, it's pretty much done as far as I'm concerned. There's not really much else. So I guess because we've gone over all the different modification stuff, we can go ahead and jump in the car and talk about how it's been over the last 2 years. 2 years, we've got 15,219 miles on this car, and honestly, they've been 100% trouble-free, perfect, very enjoyable miles, all of them. And you know, I know 15,000 miles might not seem like a lot, and you would expect not to have any issues in 15,000 miles. But if you look on, you know, any of the forums, Facebook pages and stuff, there's a lot of 2018 Mustang 5.0s that have extremely bad issues right off the bat, like within 1,000 miles. Obviously, that was a new version of the 5-liter. I would say this one has been pretty much the perfected one. Manual, MT82. 2 years later, sure, there's definitely days where I wish I'd have got the automatic just for ease of use. You know, so not every day you want to hop in your car and shift gears. I mean, some people do, like my buddy Randy. He drives 2 manual vehicles, a Jeep and a Mustang, and so he's about that life. But personally, you know, there's some days where I'm just like, I don't feel like shifting gears. To be honest, I really just drive it pretty normally. You know, I don't do a lot of speeding. I don't do anything crazy, but that's the good thing about this car is you don't have to do anything crazy, and you enjoy the crap out of it. Like, it just gives you so much fun, so much entertainment, and it's not a point A to point B vehicle. It's you enjoy it on the way, and so that's a huge thing, especially with how loud it is. It's always fun. You've always got people asking about it, coming up and talk to you, and you know, interacting with you and stuff, just because it's grabber blue. It's very bright. It's extremely loud. There's a bajillion Mustang people out there, and this car I found is very approachable. So previous cars that I've had and stuff, you know, to me look just as good, if not better, than this car, but for whatever reason didn't have a ton of people approach me with it. Whereas this one, pretty much if I drive this and go anywhere where someone can talk to me, like a gas station, a restaurant, something like that, I have people talk to me about it. I really couldn't give you an answer on why that is. This car is definitely a great conversation starter, and it's really enjoyable that way. So obviously, buying a manual V8 Mustang, you're not real concerned about fuel economy. But if we be honest with ourselves for a minute, so it doesn't matter if it's a Mustang, a truck, a four-wheeler, a chainsaw, I don't care what it is, you would prefer not to have to spend money on gasoline. I don't care. You can lie up and down and say, oh, I didn't buy a truck or I didn't buy a Mustang for fuel economy. I don't care if you did or you didn't. If it could get 100 miles to the gallon, you'd be a fool to not be happy about that, because obviously that's saving you money. You want it to be fuel efficient. So I'm happy to report that my average for this car is 22.2 miles per gallon. And that's pretty daggum good. Like I said, this car is loud, so you romp on it from time to time. You might rev it up a little bit higher than you would normally. And, you know, know, an average of 22.2 is just downright amazing to me. Well, my SD card just filled up, so I guess there's another chance to hear the exhaust, but kind of sucked. So it's funny to think, you know, buying a V8 Mustang could be a very economical choice. I mean, 22.2, that's up there with some pretty good cars. Obviously, that's a lot better than most any of your trucks are going to get. Sure, I know people will say blah, 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 I get 30 miles per gallon in my Toyota Tundra or something like that. No one says that, but you know what I'm saying. Obviously, there's always people that say they got something better than you, but 20 plus miles per gallon, absolutely great in my opinion. Not everything is perfect. I have one front strut mount making some noise, which I will address at some point, but I use these stock struts on my lowering springs, and they're iBox sport lines. They're pretty low, but obviously on struts, certain things can make them wear out faster than others, but it's making a little bit of noise. I'm really not too worried about it, but it was worth mentioning that that's really the only thing that I've had any issue out of on this whole car, and that's obviously a very good thing. One thing I've been terrified for, which hopefully, and I feel they've fixed in the 17 models, apparently in the 15 specifically, but some 16s, they had a bad problem with the AC going out on these cars, and when that happens, you have to have the entire dash ripped out of the car and that replaced. And if you know Mustangs, you know Ford, they're known for the creaks and cracks and stuff, so if you take the whole dash out, I feel like you're going to be running into those issues a lot, and that's something, you know, certain little sounds and stuff that get on your nerves. You don't want that, especially not in a nice new car. The S550, they definitely ironed out a lot of those noises and stuff. They definitely made it feel a lot more solid than the previous year Mustangs, and I am thankful to report, though, my AC and everything has been perfectly fine. I'm trying to think of some cons for this car, because aside from days where you don't want to shift gears, there's not really much to it. I mean, good fuel economy, it makes good power, it drives good, it handles good. I mean, there's really not anything bad about it. Daily driving aspect, even though this car's pretty low and I got a pretty big front lip, I still am very easily able to drive everywhere, get in all kind of driveways. Obviously, you know, there's some exceptions for certain areas and stuff. We gotta get a little bit of exhaust right here because we're going through some buildings, and you know, it just sounds too good not to do this. So in all honesty, I kind of forgot to finish out the video in the car, so we're here going to finish it out. But yeah, man, I mean, the Mustang's been great the last 2 years. A couple things I wanted to hit. Insurance, honestly, is just going to be huge on your age and driving record and stuff. It's not bad on mine. I don't have any tickets or anything like that, so that will dramatically affect yours if you do. Obviously, payments and stuff will depend on what you put down or whatever. My car is paid off, so no payments. I just have insurance and then gas and that kind of stuff. So one downside of having a car versus a truck, car, you're down low. Sometimes things can be intimidating, 18-wheelers, other trucks and stuff. Being down low kind of gives you the feeling of kind of being more vulnerable than something higher up and stuff. One of the big things about a car versus a truck is in the car, it doesn't matter where I'm at, how I'm driving. It doesn't feel like it's ever struggling. You can say that's a gas truck problem, but it's not. I've been in plenty of diesels and stuff. The car just feels so much more free. I mean, at all points, it doesn't feel weighted. It feels like it's ready to go at all times. You can just nail it and zip around people or get out of the way of stuff or do anything. Obviously, these drive a lot better than trucks, very nimble. 100 miles an hour and up are not like you're going to definitely die like it is in a truck. You can argue that point, but I'd stay by that. Trucks are under 100 cars. You're fine for whatever you feel like going, depending on the car, obviously. But I don't know. I mean, really, honestly, if you're looking for a car, if you maybe you're thinking about getting a Mustang, if you've been in other cars and stuff, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't absolutely love this car. The only real downside is part of the community. Community is kind of all over the place because it's so huge. There's a lot of Mustang jokes. There's a lot of jokes about people wrecking and pulling out cars and coffee and stuff. There's definitely a lot of hate around Mustangs for sure. For the most part, it's just, you know, people being stupid and joking and stuff. I don't think anyone would be upset if you gave them a car like this. I mean, there's really, what can you hate? 400 wheel horsepower car, drives good, handles good, comfortable, good gas mileage. I mean, there's really, what could you complain about? There's really nothing. So hopefully I did go over everything about the Mustang. You know, I'm kind of scatterbrained, not really knowing what to talk about. 2 years ownership, I don't know. It's a great car. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been great. Don't know what the future holds with it, but you know, who knows? Like I said, it's pretty much done. I mean, it looks, to me, it's freaking sick. I mean, I love it. And so definitely, if you have any questions though that I maybe not answered in this video, leave a comment. I go through all the comments. I will answer you unless it's something stupid. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all there is to say. Car's been great. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, they're great cars, period. I don't see anyone actually owning one of these cars and not enjoying it, unless you get a lemon and stuff and it blows up all the time, or, you know, you abuse your MT82 and that's a whole nother thing where this car I really don't abuse. I have driven the crap out of it before. There's a difference between driving a car, how it's designed, and then just abusing it. So you can beat on this car and be driving it how it was designed, and then there's just abuse where you're gonna break stuff, period. So people that abuse them and break them, those are the people that really get a bad taste for them, and then they hate them, and then they spread rumors, and they post on every single forum how much they hate Mustangs and stuff. But, you know, any transmission is due to die at any point. I mean, it's mechanical, just like the engine. Anything can blow up at any time. I don't care if it's a great engine, a great transmission. It's mechanical and it can go. That's also where a lot of negativity comes from, is people that just either get unlucky or they just abuse it to the point where it breaks and then they're upset that it broke. So, but I've had no issues whatsoever other than the strut, and that's my own fault for using the factory struts, and you just spend a couple $100 and upgrade those and they'll ride better anyways. So with all that being said, hopefully you did enjoy. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna quit rambling, and yeah, if you want a Mustang, go get one. 100% recommend it. I'll see y'all in the next one.